All right, here we go. My name's Jeff K, and you're listening to episode 522 of the world-famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast.
Jeff K and the West Virginia Surf Report Show.
Somehow I destroyed my belt. I don't know how such a thing happens. It didn't snap, it didn't break. It's like that little shaft. That little, what do you call it? Like, I don't know what you would call it. That little prong, I guess, that, you cinch it off and then you choose which hole you want it to be cinched at, and the little prong goes into the hole. You know what I'm saying? You with me on this? Well, that little prong is now half as long. Like the other day I was at work and I came out of the bathroom and I noticed that my belt was just hanging loose. I'm like, what the hell? Do I have dementia? What the hell is going on with you? The last time I took a tinkle, I didn't put my belt back. I didn't connect my belt. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? There's signs of degradation, And I was beating myself up. But then when I tried to re-cinch it, tried to reconnect it, that little shaft, I hesitate to say shaft, little shaft won't reach the hole. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But the thing's like that little, that thing's half as long as it should be. It's snapped off or sheared off from the girth, I guess. My massive girth just sheared metal off. But the thing's like short, it won't work. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't reach the hole. So I don't know. I've never seen that happen before, and it's so I'm going to have to go somewhere before I go to work today to go get a new belt, and so that happened. I don't know what the hell that is. When your shaft can't reach the hole, and it's sheared off. It's too short. I don't know. You guys can make your own jokes, but thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I could hear you out there laughing at my plight. But my belt, my shaft. All right, enough of that. Anyway, let's see what I got. I got some things. Well, listen to this nonsense. The other day, I was watching a documentary about The Damned, the British punk band, The Damned. Well, they started as a punk band, and I don't know what the hell they turned into. What a weird band. They went through, anyway, I watched a documentary about The Damned, and it was good. Enjoyed the shit out of that. And I turned in for the night. It was late. It was like between 1:30 and 2 in the morning. And I went upstairs and take my contacts out. And I took the right one out and put it in the little reservoir. You have the little holder, little contact lens holder. Fill each side up with the solution, and you put the contact in there. Screw the lid on. Put it in the medicine cabinet. It's there the next morning. That's all you do. I've done it 10 million times. It's just muscle memory. It's not something I even have to think about, So I'm doing that, and I'm having trouble. I put the right one in there, and then the left one something happened. It was like stuck to the side or something. I picked up the thing, and it was slick because I guess some of the solution went onto it wasn't contained in the reservoir. I was a little sloppy with the solution. and it was slick in my hands. Thing fell out of my hands, went violently into the sink. The whole thing. The lid, the tops weren't on it. It was like open. They were both open. And I'm like, I think I let out a little shriek, because I can't be losing these things. These are hard lenses, gas permeables, And I don't have, it's not like I have a box of them up in the closet. If I just, these are permanent contacts. I can't be losing them, right? So I dropped the whole thing with the lids off and into the sink. It hit violently. Did I mention it was violent? It was a violent drop, crash. I'm like, oh my God. So I picked the thing up, and the right one is still in there. It's still in the reservoir somehow, but I can't find the left one. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell, God? What in the? So I go downstairs and get a flashlight. I use my flashlight. I have these little tack lights, these little tactical flashlights. I use those things all the time. It's like the most if you don't have one around your house, if you don't have one in your personal bunker, you should go buy a 2-pack of them. They're not very expensive, and they're so useful. Anyway, so I got one of my little tack lights, and I'm shining it around trying to find that thing, trying to find that contact, because I can't be losing them, So I couldn't find it. Like sometimes these things they'll stick to this. Like I've dropped them before, and they stick to the door of the vanity, like on a straight up and down vertical. I don't know if it's like static electricity or something. It'll stick to the door. I mean, you don't know where. So you have to check every surface. And I couldn't find it. I spent a long time looking for it. Couldn't find it. I'm like, oh my God, I lost one, So my eye doctor told me if I ever lose one, you can use one of the old ones, because I have a bunch of the old ones in there. He goes, you can let those things dry out. You don't even need to use solution. Just let them dry out. Just put them in a case and let them dry out. And then if you need to use one again, just put it in the solution overnight, and it'll revitalize. It'll come back to life. It'll reanimate, So that's what I did. I got one of the older ones. I put it in there. I'm like, this irritates me. God, I never do this. I've been wearing these kind of lenses since I was in my 20s. I got this shit down. I'm an expert. Irritating. So I went to bed pissed. Next morning I woke up as another one of those, like I was talking about, this deadline I have at work where I'm just like, oh, that was pretty good. Like as soon as it pops into your head, there's like a half a second where everything's fine and you forget. And it's the exact same thing, It was like, that was a pretty good sleep. That wasn't very good. That wasn't a very good version of it, but that's what it was, like a half a second of everything's fine in the world, and then you remember. I lost my contact lens, went down the sink, I guess. All right, so I went in there, and used that old one. I was concerned about it because I'd never done that before. It was fine. I put it in, and it was fine, and I never had any issue with it. But the right one, the one that, it survived the fall, the violent crashing down, that one felt weird. As soon as I put it in, it felt weird. But that's not unusual. Those things are a mess, I mean, they often feel weird, and you got to adjust them. Sometimes you got to pop them out, spray some solution on it, pop it back in. They're persnickety. So that's not unusual. But I put that in, and then I was like, I can't see very well out of this thing. I mean, I can see okay, but I can't. It's not very good. It's kind of foggy. Like, what the hell? I really did a number on myself. So anyway, I went to work, wore them all day, And by the end of the day, I was like, these are not comfortable, I couldn't wait to get home, pop those bitches out, Excuse me. So I took the thing out at the end of the day after a 10, 11, 12-hour day, whatever. And I was, I took the right one out because that was the one that was giving me a hard time. And that was the right one. It wasn't the new one. It's all bizarre. So I take the thing out, and I got it in the palm of my hand. I got a little solution on it, and I was like swirling it around, and it separated. And there were 2 contact lenses. I had both. Somehow, I had both contact lenses in my right eye, stacked. I had them stacked. That's why I couldn't see very well, and that's why they weren't very comfortable. And then I was wearing 3 contact lenses for like 11, 12 hours. Like, what the hell's that? I had them stacked up on my eye. I don't know. How's that possible? How in the world did one of them jump from the left reservoir into the right reservoir and then connect to the other one? You know what I mean? How's that possible? So that day, or the next morning, I had, I didn't know which was the left and which was the right, I put that old one back into its previous reservoir and moved both of my good ones into the, back. But I don't know which one's the left, which one's the right. They put they put a black dot on one of them sometimes, so you can tell which one's the right eye. It has this little black dot on, and that's the right one. But I remember last time I got contacts, they said, "Do you want that black dot on there?" I go, "No, I don't need that. I am an expert. I am a genius." And now I don't know which one's the left, which one's the left, which one's the right. So I just put them in. They felt fine, and I wore them all day, and I never had any problem with them since. What the hell? What in the world? So I'm shearing metal off with my girth, like just reducing the length of a metal tongue with my massive girth. I'm stacking contact lenses in my eyes. What the hell's going on with me? The degradation. All right, so both those things happened. Terrible stuff. Tony and I went to see, Tony and I went to Tully's, which is this restaurant. It's a chain, but they're based in New York. Hang on a second, let me take a hit off this home bitch. It's called Tully's Good Times or something like some kind of shit like that. Anyway, it's a New York State chain, and the only one, well, unless, as far as I know, unless that's changed in the next, since I looked at it. The only one that's outside of the state of New York is the one here in our town. And it started out, people were like, I don't know what the hell that is, Tully's Good Times or whatever. People were like, I don't know what that is. I'm afraid of it. So people stayed away. And now, over time, that place is packed all the time. It's loud and raucous in there. The food's good. It's fun. It is good times. And they make their own beer. I wouldn't say it's world class, but it's pretty damn good. It's not bad at all. And they serve other beers too. But they have this sandwich called the Tully. I think it's fantastic. It's like I'd like to be able to recreate that at home, but I don't. It'd never be the same. It seems so simple. How's it so damn good? But anyway, they got a lot of other stuff too. It's just like a family. It's like a TGI Fridays or something. Go in there and get some sandwiches and burgers, and they have some regular entrees and stuff. And it's just a fun place to go for dinner or something. So we went in there, and we were sitting there, and there was this family on the other side of us, like we were sharing a wall, like in our booth. You know what I mean? So they were, we're sitting there. They were to the right of us, but down a level. It's hard to explain, but But they had a bunch of kids, a whole passel of kids, and a bunch of buzzcut hicklets, and like they were, I don't know, a bunch of kids that looked like they were 9, 10 years old, and then younger ones. I don't know if who knows. And they had a couple that were like babies, I guess, or close to being babies. I don't know. It seemed like there's a whole team of them down there. And they kept banging. Those kids kept those hicklets, as the buzz cuts. They kept banging against the shared wall of our. And I was like, all right, God damn it, that's just irritating. I don't know. I try not to be. I try to be conscious of my complaining. Nobody wants to be around somebody that just bitches all the time, and I know I have a propensity for that. So I try to self-adjust. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna have to roll with this. So I didn't say anything. But then one of those babies starts crying or whining. I don't even know if it was crying. It was just like whining. I don't know if it was a baby or just, I don't know, like a toddler. Just whining and whining and whining. I was like, I can't stand it anymore. I mean, I was tuning it out. Tony and I were just talking. They give you like a basket of popcorn before, as soon as you sit down. It's fantastic. We're sitting there eating popcorn, and I'm successfully tuning it out. But then I locked in, and that's where you run into problems. Once, do you know what I'm talking about? You successfully just like, you don't hear it, or you hear it, but it's like it hasn't reached the level of it's driving you insane yet. But then once you lock in on it, once you allow yourself to go, oh, wish I could have shut the hell up, then you're locked in, man. All phasers have been locked in on this, and that's the only thing I can hear. It's driving me freaking crazy. And Tony's like, oh my God. I said, "Are you serious?" I said, "I deserve all kinds of credit." When that fat little bastard kept bashing into the wall of the, I said, I didn't say a word about that. I feel like he was like laying on his back and kicking the thing. I didn't say a word. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I must have had like 2 or 3 booths. It might have been 2 families. I don't know. But anyway, I was locked in on that kid, that whining. Oh my God, it drove me freaking insane. Sometimes at work, I've talked about this before, people bring those glass, it's because it's environmentally friendly. And we have to be conscientious, good stewards of the earth. I'm sorry if I don't know. I don't want to be like that, but they bring these glass containers now because people, I guess, Tupperware is like like the Chernobyl. If you use Tupperware, it's exactly like Chernobyl. I think that's what the decision has been made. So now everybody uses glass. All right. So they come in here and they sit down in the break room at work and they pop open the lid. Some kind of funk rushes out usually as soon as they crack the seal on that thing. And then they get a metal spoon or a fork and just commence to clanking. Clank, 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 clank. I don't know why people have to why their food always has to be moving. Clank, clank. Just keep moving it around. Just moving it and shoveling it in their glistening face hole. Just clank, 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 clank. Oh my God, I lock in on that and I'm like losing my mind. I am like coming out of my skin. And it happens. I mean, people. Why do people have to constantly be stirring their food, like moving? Their food has to be in constant motion. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Anyway, so I was locked in. I don't know. I tried not to let it ruin. I was bitching. I was bitching up a storm. Tony's over there sighing. I think I deserve credit for my restraint, but I locked in. I'm only human. I'm only flesh and blood. My God. If you watch this show called The Burrows on Netflix, it's kind of like Stranger Things, except it's on the other end of the spectrum as far as aging goes. It takes place in this high-end retirement community called the Burrows, which is probably based on that big one, that one called the Villages in Florida. But so it's a bunch of old people who have money, right? And they are being attacked by monsters or something, some kind of beasts that are feeding on their brain fluids, right? So it's like Stranger Things, and it's made by it's produced by the Duffer Brothers who created Stranger Things, and I thought it was fantastic. I mean, I enjoyed the shit out of it. I liked all the characters in it. I thought it was entertaining. The thing was canceled. I think it was canceled like 15 minutes after they released it. I don't know why. I thought that thing was good. I think that's going to be one of those shows where it's going to have a cult following, you know? And people will be like, why did they only do one season of that show? It was fun, you know? I think they're going to regret it, but I don't know. Maybe it was expensive to make. I don't know. I don't know if maybe people just didn't watch it for whatever reason. But anyway, I thought it was good. Gina Davis is in that thing. Has all these people. I think that's her name. And I don't know if she's like, she plays a character who's kind of vain, you know. Oh, you know, really, really concerned about her appearance and stuff. Her face is like frozen from Botox and like injections and fillers, you know. Her face doesn't even move when she talks. It's like they went in with some of that blow-in insulation. You know what I mean? I mean, her teeth look like they're made in a laboratory. They're like porcelain, and her lips don't move when she talks. It's like her jaws are wired shut. So I don't know if that's her in real life or if that's the character she's playing. But it's off-putting. I don't know. I don't like that. She's the, I don't know. That's the part of the whole show that I'm like, you know, why would somebody mutilate themselves like that? Yeah, she might look halfway decent in a picture, but once you start talking to her, you're like, what the hell? What the hell's going on here? Some woman is she even human? You know, it's really weird. Really weird. I don't know if it might just be like cosmetic, you know, like it might just be something they did to her because that's the character, or it might just be her. I don't know. I have no idea. But that part was distracting. But overall, I liked it. It was good stuff. I don't know why they canceled it. There's only 8 episodes. I mean, if they'd have just said this is a standalone, because it ended in a pretty, you know, didn't really end on like a cliffhanger or anything. It kind of tied up at the end. I don't know. If you're into that kind of thing, it's a pretty good show. It's fun to watch. The Burrows on Netflix. Hang on a second. Let me take another hit off this. That's that good coffee from Sam's Club. Let's see what else. I got some other stuff here. Yeah, let's just go straight to the calls. I have a couple calls here. I do have some other stuff listed. Let's see. No, I think let's just go to the calls. This first one is from surf reporter Andrew, and here it is.
Jeff, surf reporter Andrew from Philadelphia here. Another great episode recently when you talked about things that you see on TV but not in real life. Fantastic job on that one. Your comment about sleep masks made me laugh because my wife has always worn one. And we do sleep at night, not during the day. And actually, she goes to bed with a CPAP mask, a sleep mask, and a night guard for grinding her teeth. I'm used to it now, but early on, I might have woken up from a dead sleep, maybe after a nightmare, and gotten a hell of a fright. But the main reason I'm calling is because there's another item that you see on TV all the time, but very rarely in real life, hopefully. Now, this is a subtle one, but once you start looking for it, it happens all the time on TV. Almost always, when somebody enters a house, they just walk right in and start talking or whatever, and they don't shut the front door. It could be wintertime, and they come in with a scarf and a ski hat, and they just walk right in and don't shut the door. I see it all the time, and my wife has gotten used to me yelling, "Shut the door for Pete's sake." That's it, Jeff. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Bye.
I think I blew it on that whole sleep mask thing. I said on that episode, it was like you said, it was things you see on TV but you never see in real life. Is people wearing sleep masks. I said that. And since then, I've had multiple people tell me, I wear a sleep mask. Yeah, every night I wear one. Like, okay. And you say your wife gets her CPAP machine, her sleep CPAP mask, her eye mask, and her teeth guard. Yeah, that would be, I could see how you could wake up and go, good God. But anyway, so I'm way off on that. I guess I'm way off on the sleep mask. I guess those things are in much more use than I realized. Had no idea. I guess that's one of those things you don't talk about. You don't go to work and say, I bought a sleep mask. It's just one of those things you just do, and I don't know. I've never heard anybody talk about one until I said that nobody wears them. Then everybody's like, I wear them. I'm totally off on that one, apparently. And people walk into houses and just leave the door open and just start talking. I think I have noticed that. Not to the I haven't locked in like I did at Tully's, but I will lock in now. I will notice that, but that sounds right. Because when you're on a TV show, it's not the reality. Usually, especially if it's a comedy or something, there's no reality. It's just for entertainment purposes. It's like reality with all the boring part removed, like closing a door. I don't have time for that nonsense. You get straight to the yucks. Another thing I remembered after I did that episode, and this is a little obscure too. I appreciate your obscure offering there, but in old TV, especially in old movies, there are characters who would check themselves into a hospital for a rest. You know what I mean? That used to be something you'd see all the time. I know he checked himself into a hospital for a rest. Like, what the hell's that? For a rest? What is it? Like, go to the nut house? Is that what they're saying? Is that what that means? I mean, in my mind, it was just in the regular hospital. Like, you could just go to the hospital, check yourself in, just, to decompress, I guess. Like, I don't think that would happen. I don't think you can do that now. I think they'd be saying, you can't come in here. There has to be a reason. Your insurance is not going to pay, So, but on old TV shows and old movies and stuff, there's always people checking themselves into a hospital for a rest. That's bizarre to me. Even when I was a kid, I was like, what the hell's that? Like, do people do that? If you pay attention to those old movies, like the black and white ones, that's what they were doing, that shit all the time, checking themselves in for a rest. It's one of those things like somebody gets like a year in one of those low end prison, like a prison sentence, where you have to go to prison, but it's not one of those scary ones. It's one of those what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean? It's for non-violent criminals. You have to go to prison though. Sounds pretty damn good. It sounds like a pretty good thing for me. I wouldn't mind doing that. As long as I'm not out in the having to deal with Bubba. That kind of stuff. But you know what I mean? I can't, it sounds pretty, I always think, that wouldn't be too bad. One of those ones for white collar criminals where they're just sitting around in a upholstered chair, in prison. Sounds pretty good, actually. All the stress is gone, All your meals are there for you. You don't have to worry about anything, really. It's fantastic. Anyway, Thanks for calling, Andrew. I appreciate that, and I will start watching that. I believe that I've noticed that as well, but I need to lock in like a Tully's lock in. That's what they call it. So thanks for calling, Andrew. Appreciate it. This next call is from Nick from Kentucky. Here it is.
Hey, Jeff. It's Nick from Kentucky once again. Just got done listening to your reading from your No New Jeff's Substack. Really enjoyed that, but it reminded me of a story I wanted to share and a question I have. I'm talking about people who come up and ask you for money on the street, that sort of thing. It happened to me so frequently here in Kentucky that I just got to a point where I sort of stopped trusting people. I'd have the same people come up and ask me for money. Oh, hey, it's my birthday. And I'm going, yeah, you told me it was your birthday last Tuesday as well. So I just came up with a default response, which is, hey, I'm really sorry. I don't carry any cash, which is true. Generally speaking, I don't, but also just kind of diffuse the situation in most cases. But it reminded me of a story that happened to me, probably the funniest one that's ever happened to me. So I was getting gas one day, pulled into the pump, and get out, swipe my card, and I grab the pump, put it in the car, and as soon as I do, I can see this guy heading my way. Know he's going to ask me for money, so I'm already firing up the response in my head. Hey, I'm really sorry, I don't have any cash. And he walks up and he just comes right up to my face and says, hey, you look like a fine young Christian man. Do you think you could help me out? And it just short-circuited my brain. I've never had anybody say something like this to me, so I just forgot what I was going to say. So I paused for what for me felt like just a second, but must have been an eternity. I don't know. And this guy looks directly at me and says, do you speak English? And if you saw a picture of me, you would say, yeah, this guy definitely speaks English. I just look like your average sort of middle white American 30-year-old male at that point. But by this time, my brain had caught back up, and I thought, oh, great, well, this guy thinks I don't speak English. I can just not say anything to him, and maybe he'll walk away and leave me alone. So I just don't say anything, and that was the worst decision that I could have made. This guy, instead of leaving me alone, now starts doing the thing that people do when they think people don't speak English. He starts miming and saying things like, me need money for car broke down over here. And he's pointing and making a massive scene, 10 times worse than if I would have just said, hey, I don't have any cash. Meanwhile, I'm still pumping gas, so I'm stuck. And I'm just listening to this guy's whole spiel. And he finishes right at the same time I get done pumping gas. So I hang up the gas pump. This guy looks me dead in the eyes again and says, you help me with money? And I said, I'm sorry, sir. I don't have any cash. And he was unbelievably puzzled, confused, ashamed, whatever. I don't know what was happening, but I've never seen quite that look on another man's face. He actually just turned around without saying a word and walked directly out of the parking lot. Didn't even ask anybody else for any money, just walked away entirely. But anyway, your No New Jeffs reminded me of that story, and it also made me wonder. You mentioned somebody was trying to sell you a mattress, I believe. Just curious if you have any other funny stories or weird experiences with people coming up and asking you for things on the street. Anyway, keep up the great work. Have a good one, buddy. Bye.
Thanks for the kind words about the No New Jeffs thing. Yeah, I'm going to start doing those. As I write them, I'll release them like that. See how it goes. You know, I think it was kind of fun. I need to get better at it. Zip told me I should read it out loud first. Maybe I could stand up in the middle of the floor and read it out loud. Somehow the standing up makes it better. So I was making a bunch of errors, had to redo a lot of it. But anyway, thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, I had people, before I get to your story, I did, like I said, somebody tried to sell me a mattress. Somebody tried to sell me pants. Man, they're real nice. Still got the tags on them. Yeah, but they're like 28 waist or something. I don't know. We stole those things off somebody's back seat. 2 a.m. Or some guy just appears out of nowhere trying to sell me pants. Usually, though, it was just people asking for money. And they have a sob story. It usually involved Tallahassee for some reason. I don't know what the hell, It's like I broke down up on the highway, trying to get back home to Tallahassee. Come on, brother, help me out. I got to get my babies back to Tallahassee. I got a car full of babies up there. Got to get back to Tallahassee. Always Tallahassee. Then I see the same guy out there, a few days later, also broke down again. What are the chances that the guy would run out of gas 2 times in like 2 days, 2 or 3 days, on his way through Atlanta, on his way back to Tallahassee with a car full of babies? I mean, the chances are so minuscule. Anyway, mostly it was that kind of shit, and I don't know. And I hate to be that kind of guy, but it gets old because everywhere you go in Atlanta, there's people asking you for money, and I try not to be like heartless, but most of it's just I don't know. I don't trust any of them. I mean, some of them are legit, I'm sure, but most of it's just not. It's not. It's just guys just trying to separate you from your money, But anyway. But yeah, mostly it was that. It was that kind of stuff. Sob stories, Tallahassee. Tallahassee was always involved. I don't know why, but there's a deep connection to Tallahassee. And your story about the guy, you're pretending you don't speak English. That's hilarious. Yeah. And then you're like, no, I don't have any money. The guy's miming his, it's like, money, That's hilarious. That reminds me of my friend, Scott, got on an airplane with these Indian people. He looks like he's from, everybody used to say, Are you Hawaiian? He goes, no, I'm not Hawaiian. What the hell? He looked, I don't know. He looked like he was Hawaiian. He's dark, and I don't know. He's always being asked if he was, Samoan or Hawaiian or something. And he was on this airplane one time. There's all these Indian men on there, and they couldn't speak English, or they couldn't speak very well. So the waitresses, or the stewardesses, I should say, the flight attendants were like, talking to them like too loud, like just raising the volume of their voice instead of, trying to communicate with these guys. And he's sitting there. He's just sitting there, just like minding his own business. And one of the flight attendants comes up and goes, "Would you like a cookie? Would you like to bring you a cookie?" She thought he was like one of the Indians that couldn't speak English, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll take a cookie." She's like, the look on her face. He said, but anyway, that's hilarious. Yeah, I've had many run-ins with people at while you're pumping gas. It's very uncomfortable. Like you say, you're like trapped there. You have to stay. Sometimes I'd be like, all right, $20 is good. I was going to fill it up, but I would get the hell out of here. I get these guys come out there and they come up and fist bump you and all this stuff, and they're like trying to be your friend and stuff. I just want your money. I'm surprised. I'm lucky I didn't get robbed. I never got robbed down there. I never got mugged or anything like that. I did, like I said, they knocked the windows out of my car over and over and over, stole my shit, took my clothes, took a basket of my clean laundry. What kind of a monster takes somebody's clean laundry? And they stole the stereo out of my car back when stereos had value, Take everything. Take all the coins out of my console. Ugh. But I never had anybody rob me or anything like that. I'm lucky. It was only a matter of time. That place is something else. But anyway, that whole article, that No New Jeff's article, if you haven't read it, is about how I went through all that, didn't even think anything about it. If I tried to go down there now, it would drive me freaking insane. I wouldn't be able to do it anymore. It would kill me. All the nonsense that you deal with in Atlanta or any big city for that matter. The traffic, that kind of stuff. The apartment we lived in was in the middle of this real loud area with bars and restaurants and music venues. You should read it. It's over at nonewjeffs.substack.com. And if you want to sign up for it too, you can sign up. There's another thing you can sign up for. This one's totally free. Just sign up and it comes to your email. Every time I print or publish a new one, write a new article, which I try to do monthly, you'll get a notification. They'll send it to you right to your email. Or you can just wait till I mention it on here. It's up to you. There's no cost. It's totally free. nonewjeffs.substack.com. And thanks for your call, Nick, and thanks for the story. It's hilarious. I can relate to it. So appreciate that. And thanks again, Andrew, for calling. Both of you guys appreciate it. And if the rest of you want to call in like those two guys did, it's easy to do. The number's set up for you. It's sitting there waiting for your call right now. The number, 570-290-8151. You can call me round the clock. It's just voicemail. I'm not going to answer. Don't worry about it. You're not going to be put in some kind of an uncomfortable situation. It's just a voicemail system. 570-290-8151. And if you want to sign up for a monthly donation, help my efforts here, you get in exchange for that, you'll get a bonus episode every week, or every time I publish one to the main network, like this one. A few days later, there's a bonus episode for patrons only, full-length episodes, just like this one. But not everybody can hear it. You have to be a patron over at Patreon. That's Patreon, patreon.com/JeffK. You can sign up for a $4 or more monthly donation. $4 will do it. That's all. It'll unlock the audio. It'll unlock the bonus episodes. And there's a whole bunch of them already in there, the previously recorded ones. Hundreds of them. And as soon as you sign up, you have access to them. And all the new ones as they come out. It's fantastic. I can't even think of a reason why you wouldn't want to do it. You put it on a credit card, you don't even notice it. $4, give me a break. It helps me a great deal. So patreon.com/JeffK. And surfreportpod.com is the web home of the podcast. You can check that out as well. And we're at the end of this thing. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, which will be over on the Patreon side. Hope you guys have yourselves a fine, fine day. I'll see you. Bye.
Me need money.